We continue to preview the 2025 college volleyball season. We're a few months out, but it's getting closer all the time. Our stop today is Redding, California, and we get to visit with Mike Haworth, who is the head volleyball coach for the Simpson Redhawks. Coach, it's a privilege to have you on the channel today. 2024, 17-14 overall. I know we want to preview 25, but let's talk about that just a little bit. First winning season for the program in at least 10 years.
Yeah, it was a pretty special year for us. We had a lot of multi-year returning players that are actually graduating at the end of this year. So we had three girls that were in their fourth year with us and two more that were in their third year with us. So lots of experience, and we kind of been building to this year. I think that I took over 7 years ago, and this last year was the first year that was literally all girls that I recruited and not any left over from the other programs. So um, yeah, I think we've kind of been building for that. But yeah, it was a special year for us.
You know, the season seemed to end on a good note too. I mean, unless you win the final game, I know that's you want to keep going as far as you can. But 9-4 as the season went on, was that due in part to that experience just really finally coming to fruition?
Yeah, I think when you have senior leadership, that does help a lot. I think, we actually tried some things a little different this year. I actually was able to talk to a college coach and at Arkansas, and Jason Watson. I mean, he did a Zoom with us, and we kind of talked to him a little bit. Just I literally sent an email to the guy asking him some questions, and he goes, "Hey, let's get on the Zoom and we'll talk." And some of the things we talked about was that in a smaller school like we are, sometimes it's hard to keep that consistency all year long. And the last couple of years we hadn't ended in great finishes, and we had lost a bunch of matches in 5 games. And we kind of talked a little bit about training and weightlifting, and we kind of did some different things this year. And I think our team was more mentally and physically stronger, and I think that really helped us toward the end of the year with I think just understanding that. And we played better toward the end of the year. We just couldn't get past UC Merced, who ended up winning our conference. We lost to them, 4 times, and that's the majority of those losses you just talked about was to them. And every match was very, very competitive, and but that was just a team that was better than us. And you know, we were the second best team in the conference, and it would have been nice if we didn't have UC Merced in our conference, because I think we were the second best team in the conference.
Coach, from last season, you mentioned seniors and players with experience. As we look ahead to 2025, then one place that you're going to have to make some adjustments. You had a couple of seniors there in the middle. Talk about how you'll be able to maybe shore that up and help your defense there at the net.
Yeah, that's we lost first team all conference Katie Graham, who was 4-year starter for us, 2-year all conference player, all region for us. Yeah, that's going to be a huge gap to fill for us. But that's my job right now is in the recruiting trail, is looking out and trying to find ways to fill those gaps. And that is the big thing for us, is we have a lot of girls that we've brought in on campus, and we're trying to shore up that spot because we do have a pretty good nucleus of kids coming back. So, that is a big need for us. And so we know that. And so that's put a lot of time and effort on our side to try and find those kids that can step in and be able to play right away. And that's kind of a nice thing for us in terms of recruiting, is sometimes when you're recruiting kids, you really don't have spots that are open right away. They might have to beat out somebody. Well, we have no middle in our entire program right now, so they all graduated. So when I'm talking to kids, it's like, okay, look, you have a chance to start. Not only just be part of the team. We need 2 people to start. So that's been an advantage for us. I think that I can kind of offer kids stuff, but also tell them, hey, look, there's a great opportunity for you to step in and be able to play all the time right now.
All right. So any recruits listening right now, just keep that in mind and contact Coach Haworth. Coach Mike Haworth here on the summit today as we're visiting with the head coach for the Simpson Redhawks on Midwest Sports Net. And I encourage you, please take the time, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We enjoy talking about small college sports and more throughout the Midwest and beyond. Coach, a couple of juniors that'll come back for you. You have some outside. So we talked about the middle then. Let's talk about this offense just a little bit. Mariah, Napoleon, and Tiara Mann's coming back, and they were a big part of the team and the program last year.
Yeah, I think Tiara was the one that kind of came in. That was one of our big recruits for us. She actually played in high school for a girl that played for me in high school. So that's the connection for me, was to be able to get her. I think she's kind of a diamond in the rough. She started late. She was a basketball player and was kind of under recruited. And when we got her in, we just knew that she could be something special for us. And she's gotten better every year that she's been with us. But I think the other one, Mariah, was the biggest surprise for us. The growth from her freshman year to her sophomore year, this year, last year with us, was huge. And I think that kind of coincided with us being a way better team than we had been from the year before. And I'm looking forward to both of them. That's, if we can keep both of them healthy, that's 2 more years outside hitting that we really don't have to worry about. So,
Coach, how neat is it to have a second generation aspect to bringing players into the program? I mean, getting to coach someone who you coach their coach, and then interestingly enough, I mean, it is that second tier thing. And I know it says you've been around and done it for a while then, but it has to be a neat feeling too.
absolutely. And so much of, I mean, for me, it's about relationships, and so, building those kind of relationships, having kids that have played for me. Right now, we have 3 Hawaiian girls on our team, and the reason why we have them is we recruited a girl a couple years ago that played for us, and she was from Hawaii, and she had a great experience. And both her parents run clubs in Hawaii, and they really enjoyed the time they were here. And so now that's just opened it up for us. And so again, it's about who you know and those kind of relationship pieces. We have a drop down, a D2 drop down setter coming in from Hawaii that was one of the kids that played in their club. And I would have never had that opportunity to recruit her if we didn't have the original girl here, and her parents really enjoyed they're the biggest advocate for our program, which is the best thing. Is I can talk all I want, but the people that have been in our program that can talk about our program to help us out, that makes it special for us.
Absolutely, Coach. Well, you talk about bringing in a setter. There are a couple that are returning as well, and seem to have a solid part of the success of your team last year. Abigail Shackelford and Mackenzie Tatterin, setters on the team. They're also upperclassmen.
Yeah, yeah. Both of them stepped in last year. We were lacking in setters, and so both of them stepped in as JC transfers and did a great job for us last year. One of the big things for us is one of the best majors for us, and the most popular major at our school is our nursing program. Our nursing program is one of the best in California. The problem for us is if they come in the nursing program, I can usually only have them. If they come in as freshmen, I can only have them for 2 years. If they come in as JC players, I can usually get them for maybe 1 semester before they start their clinicals. And Abigail, who I just was one of my favorite kids that we had on our team this last year, is going into the nursing program. So we're going to have to work around. So I'm not really sure how much she's going to be able to help us next year. So it's kind of a blessing and a curse for us. It's great because it helps us get kids to our school, but we just kind of have to look at every kid that's like that. If they're coming in as freshmen, as JC kids, you're only going to get them for 2 years, and they'll be in our program for 4. They'll come and practice and do stuff. But as a setter, it's like the quarterback on the football team. If they're not there every day at practice and working with the other kids, it's not going to work. And so, like, if there was a libero that only had to pass, then I could probably make it work if they were in the nursing program. But that is just so much timing and issues that those kids have to be there every day with the kids in practice. So we're hoping that somehow it works out that her clinicals are on different days than our games. But that's a crapshoot right there. Hoping.
Well, the season will get started a little bit later on. We're a few months away from that right now, but you get a chance to look. You know, you're going back to Southern Oregon again in the pre-conference portion of your schedule. You get to go to Hope International and travel south for that. Travel even further south, and I guess a little southeast over to play in Arizona before the CalPAC portion of the schedule gets underway. Take us through 25 just a bit.
Yeah, we've had to kind of increase a lot of our preseason because we've lost a couple teams in our conference. Our conference is dwindling a little bit in size, and so we won't have as many conference games. 2 years ago, we had 22 conference games. Last year, we had 15, and I think next year we have 12. So we're really having to supplement our preseason and trying to get to a lot of different places, play a lot of different teams. The Southern Oregon tournament that we went to last year, that we've been to every year. Last year, we played two of the top four teams in the country. We played Bellevue, who lost in the national championship. We played Southern Oregon, who lost in the semifinals. Corbin lost in the quarterfinals. Those were the three teams we started off the season with. So it was a real reality check. We played three teams that were literally in the top 10 in the country. And that really helped us because I think our kids needed to see how good those teams were, and if we wanted to compete, we had to get a lot better. And so that just kind of motivated, I think, our kids that we needed to, when we go back after that tournament, we have to really do it. And so that's why we always try and get into Southern Oregon. He always has great teams that are there, and Josh does a great job at Southern Oregon. So yeah, that's part of it. And then we don't all the Arizona schools that we're going to play, they used to be in our conference, and so that's a way of us making connections back with some of those teams in the GSAC, that we need to play some of those teams so that if it comes times to seeding or anything, that we've at least played them so we have some comparison against some of those teams.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, congratulations on the success of last season and what that's meant to your program. And we're going to follow the Redhawks into 2025 as well. Coach Mike Haworth with the Simpson Redhawks, thank you, sir, for taking time with us today here on the Summit and helping us preview the upcoming year.
Thank you so much for having me.